Welcome to our channel, where we delve into the dark mysteries of crime, from murders to disappearances. Join us as we unravel the most shocking cases in history. But beware, these stories can be disturbing. Get ready for a journey into the realm of crime. Erica Butts and Shanita Cunningham face charges of homicide by child abuse in Somerville, South Carolina. Best friends with the child's mother, they were trusted to care for the toddler for 2 weeks. But the story took a horrifying turn. The innocent 3-year-old tragically died from injuries that revealed weeks of brutal torture, coinciding with her time under Butts and Cunningham's care. The sheer agony the child must have endured is unimaginable. In a dramatic courtroom scene, both women were found guilty, and the judge delivered a chilling sentence.
What had been done to ignore what must have been the excruciating sounds that came from that child on a daily basis is more than disconcerting to this court. And as such, the court finds it appropriate that each be sentenced to the State Department of Corrections for a period of life.
Life imprisonment. Interrogation room in Rhode Island, suspected of stabbing an 85-year-old woman, Esteban Carpio, and 2 detectives. When one detective stepped out to get water, leaving Carpio alone with Detective Sergeant James Allen, an unthinkable horror unfolded. Carpio seized Allen's gun, firing twice and killing him instantly. The room echoed with the gunshots as Carpio made a desperate leap out of the 3rd-story window, vanishing into the night. The ensuing manhunt lasted just 45 minutes before Carpio was captured. His arraignment was a spectacle, with Carpio appearing in court wearing a mask designed to prevent spitting and biting, his face battered. The courtroom was in shock, not only at Carpio's appearance, but at the outcry from his family.
Step off, step off.
Not guilty! I'm not guilty, Stephen!
Who vehemently accused the police of brutality.
Police brutality! He was mentally ill and he needed help and we couldn't get it. We tried and tried. And he didn't deserve.
An FBI investigation concluded that the police did not use excessive force. Carpio's injuries were from his fall and subsequent struggle with law enforcement. Haunted by his actions, Carpio admitted, "Every day, I face the facts of what I did." He was sentenced to life in prison without parole. This is Nico Jenkins, who was convicted of 4 murders during a 10-day killing spree in Omaha, Nebraska. At 15, Jenkins was sent to a youth correctional facility and served a 10-year prison sentence for carjacking and assault. A month after his release, Jenkins shot and killed 2 people during a robbery. 8 days later, he murdered a former inmate he had met in prison, shooting him in his garage. 2 days after that, Jenkins killed his 4th victim in a carjacking. He was arrested on unrelated charges, but the police were able to link the ammo used in one of the murders to Jenkins.
Because like what you said, if you don't tell me what the heck happened out there, people are going to think the absolute worst. People are going to think the absolute worst. Do you not realize that? I got Nico Jenkins. I got you.
What do you mean you got me?
I got your DNA at the murder scene. I got your DNA in the car.
Sir.
I got the weapon. I got Nico Jenkins.
Jenkins pleaded no contest to 4 counts of first-degree murder. He also waived his right to a jury trial, allowing a 3-judge panel to determine his guilt.
Each one of these murders was a deliberate and planned act. The victims were pre-selected and the murders were purposeful.
After Jenkins was found guilty of all 4 murders, he sat still with little movement as the sentence.
Therefore, this panel finds that the death penalty is appropriate, should be, and is hereby given for each of the 4 murders by the defendant.
As Jenkins was sentenced to death, he appeared completely unfazed. He is currently incarcerated at the Nebraska State Penitentiary, awaiting his death sentence. Charged with 2 counts of attempted murder in Lexington, Kentucky, Webb's latest crime was caught on a chilling security camera. The footage showed Webb trying to run over 2 employees at a jail where he had recently served time. During his first court appearance, the judge, knowing the 2 employees, prepared to recuse herself. But then, Webb shocked everyone. He spit on the judge. As the judge calmly wiped off the spit and ordered Webb out of the courtroom, a darker story emerged. Webb had a sinister past. While previously incarcerated, he had been charged with the murders of 2 different girlfriends. Convicted of the first murder, he was now on trial for the second. Webb arrived in court with a tattoo on his head, listing people he wanted to kill, with 3 names already crossed out. Throughout the trial, Webb displayed no remorse, his cold demeanor chilling the courtroom. The jury found him guilty, and the judge sentenced him to life in prison for his heinous crimes. In a tense Cincinnati, Ohio courtroom, Julia Smith Riley stood accused of a chilling crime. Police reported that he confessed to a brutal robbery that left a 20-year-old woman dead and her boyfriend seriously wounded. The victims, Portia Brooks and Aaron Martin, were sitting in their car when Smith Riley and 2 accomplices approached, intending to rob them. When Martin revealed he had no cash, Smith Riley shot him in the head, causing permanent brain damage. He then turned the gun on Brooks, fatally wounding her. She succumbed to her injuries 3 days later.
Go back on. I just want to come home with this. This is somebody that feels genuine remorse. This is somebody that thinks about this every day, and he knows that he can't go back in time and undo what he did.
The courtroom fell silent as Portia Brooks's mother delivered a heart-wrenching victim impact statement.
But he killed me mentally, emotionally. He killed my identity as a mother of 3, as a family of 4.
Brooks's sister then took the stand, her voice filled with pain and resolve.
I have to deal with life without Portia, so he should deal with life without parole.
The tension peaked as the judge prepared to announce Smith Riley's fate.
Defendant serve a term of life without parole. As to count 4 for the offense of attempted murder.
This is Keandria Cook, who was found guilty of carjacking charges in Volusia County, Florida. 18-year-old Cook and her then 17-year-old boyfriend had used a dating app to set up a carjacking where the boyfriend reportedly shot the victim, leaving him seriously injured after fleeing the scene and being on the run. The pair attempted another carjacking just 2 days later, but they were arrested now in court. Cook stands in front of the judge for her involvement in the theft and shooting of all 3 charges, sends you to 20 years in state prison.
Indicates you guilty of all 3 charges, sentence you to 20 years in state prison.
That is Cook's mother that can be heard crying. Reportedly. The reason for this very emotional outburst is there was a miscommunication with the assistant public defender, where Cook and her mother thought she wouldn't face any prison time. Cook's sentence was later reduced to 11 years in prison. Christopher Clay Rudd, a suspect facing drug charges in Spanish Fork, Utah, was arrested and brought to court on May 4th, 2018. During the proceedings, while handcuffed, Rudd unexpectedly bolted from the courtroom and leaped over a second-floor railing, plummeting approximately 20 feet to the ground below. Miraculously, he survived the fall, but sustained severe injuries, including a broken leg, a fractured pelvis, and a skull fracture. Rudd was immediately hospitalized for treatment and later returned to court to face additional charges related to his attempted escape. Gregory Wright, involved in an armed robbery in Detroit, Michigan on June 28, 1995, committed the crime at gunpoint, robbing Gregory Green and fleeing with his vehicle. During his escape from authorities, Wright collided with a police cruiser and fired shots, injuring an officer in the arm. The following day, June 29th, Wright was apprehended and defiantly stated, "All I got to say is I have no remorse for shooting that police officer. He got what he deserves. If I had the opportunity to kill him, I'd kill him now."
All I got to say is I have no remorse for shooting that police officer. He got what he deserved. If I had the opportunity to kill him, I'd kill him.
In court, Wright faced charges including armed robbery, carrying a concealed weapon and use of a firearm during a felony. At a pre-trial bond hearing, despite being granted a bond of $50,000, Wright attempted to flee, prompting a struggle involving 7 officers. The judge swiftly revoked his bond and ordered him to remain in custody. Subsequently, the case proceeded to trial, where Wright was ultimately sentenced to life in prison.